This is the very first Windows-based chip that has excited me in a very long time, and it is marketed to be, and very well could be, the Apple Silicon moment that Windows has been waiting for. So Nvidia just announced the new RTX Spark, and while it's aimed more towards AI power users, it's also kind of targeted towards creators and gamers. This processor is a 20-core ARM-based CPU, but it will also act as a laptop 5070 GPU replacement, but even more efficient. Because of this, your favorite laptop makers will be able to shove the RTX Spark into mini PCs and thin laptops. This fall, we can expect to see this chip in the new Windows Surface Ultra, the Asus ProArt lineup, the Dell XPS 16 Creator Edition, the MSI Prestige N16 Flip AI Plus, the HP OmniBook Ultra 16 and OmniBook 14, plus the Lenovo Yoga Pro 9N, and maybe some others. And some of these will even come as thin as 14 millimeters, which is even thinner than the M5 Max MacBook Pro. Now, what appears to be the goal of the RTX Spark is to bring an AI supercomputer into your home.
I could totally imagine that someday there's actually an AI supercomputer in your house.
This chip seems designed for AI researchers and developers to host their own agents locally. Now, as you probably know, an AI agent is more powerful than a chatbot. It not only answers your questions, it also performs tasks for you. This means to be the most useful for you, it needs to be able to access your files locally on your computer. The two obvious perks of this will be that A, it will be local and private rather than through a web-based service. And B, it will be more reliable and faster because you won't rely on an internet connection to use it. The Spark will be able to support up to 128 gigabytes of unified memory, which is important because it'll allow it to run AI models up to 120 billion parameters. This may sound familiar because there's another chip from Nvidia called the DGX Spark that is also able to do that. The difference between the DGX Spark and the RTX Spark is that the DGX is designed for running massive AI models on custom Linux-based systems. The new RTX Spark, however, will run Windows natively, which to me seems more targeted towards consumers. Well, consumers with deep wallets and very specific use cases. As for me personally though, I am not into artificial intelligence at all. I am a creative professional, and as a M5 Max MacBook Pro user, I am really trying to squeeze every little ounce of performance I can out of my machine. But that's kind of why this RTX Spark excites me. This is the very first Windows-based chip that has excited me in a very long time, and it is marketed to be, and very well could be, the Apple Silicon moment that Windows has been waiting for. Great performance paired with great efficiency seems to be the promise of this chip, and if you're this far in this video, it probably excites you too. Nvidia has partnered with Microsoft, Adobe, DaVinci Resolve, Affinity, Blender, and many others to make running these programs as efficient as possible. So even though this is targeted towards those AI super users, I do think creators should keep an eye on these chips as well, especially creators who like to game. In an exclusive event here at Computex, we were taken through several demos, including a gaming demo where, while we can't test benchmarks or anything like that, we were allowed to briefly play a handful of selected games that looked and ran beautifully on these new machines. Most importantly, Nvidia entering the consumer market with these ARM-based chips nearly guarantees that there will be more game compatibility. They even announced that they are working with developers to create native versions of their games and anti-cheat software for ARM-based architecture, which will be a huge leap for the market as a whole. Now, we won't be seeing any of these in the real world until the fall, so it's worth subscribing to the channel and checking out our website for our more detailed review once we get our little grubby hands on these. Personally, as a Mac user, I am very excited to test these out, and I know that I'm not the person that they are targeting with these new chips and laptops, but I have a really hard time imagining that these won't be impressive. Also, I'm just generally curious, do you consider yourself to be an AI power user? What do you think your main use case would be for a chip like this?